Greetings fellow adventurers. Today's journey will take us from Abu Dhabi in United Arab Emirates all the way to Doha in Qatar. It is the second weekend of March and the start of the new MotoGP 2024 season. So, get ready for some excitement from the Lusail International Circuit. I'm on an E11 motorway riding towards the border between the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. This section of the journey is monotonous because the motorway is as straight as it can be. There is not much to see apart from the flatness of the desert for the next 360 kilometers. The most prominent feature of this road is its speed limit of 160 kilometers per hour. Which is perfect for those who want to spend on it as little time as possible. I would like to give two warnings to my fellow adventurers. First, don't forget to refuel in Abu Dhabi. Refueling stations on this section of E11 motorway are few and far between, so start with your petrol tank full. Second, beware of strong crosswinds and slow down when necessary. Here I am at the border crossing. Taking photos and videos within checkpoints and other associated facilities is not permitted. So, I will stop recording for now. See you again on the other side of the border. Finally, I crossed the border and am now riding through Saudi Arabia. Lots of people are traveling during the weekend, and the process on the Saudi side was unexpectedly long. I lost, by my estimation, more than 1 hour. First, there was a lengthy customs procedure with detailed check of the luggage. Then I had to wait for a police dog to sniff around. After that, the motorcycle was x-rayed. Finally, I had to buy vehicle insurance. During all those steps, the Saudi police officers were kind and professional. Also, they were not discriminatory. Everybody got the same treatment regardless of vehicle type, nationality, or gender. Border crossings like this are just something that needs to be endured with calmness and patience. I spoke with other travelers, and they commented that such detailed checks are uncommon. Indeed, on the way back I crossed the border within 10 minutes. I don't think the road can be emptier than this. 120 kilometers through the desert, and the speed limit of 120 kilometers per hour. I could really use cruise control. Another warning to fellow adventurers. There is a petrol station just after the border crossing. Be sure to refuel or have enough petrol because the next pump is more than 80 kilometers away. Interestingly, at the current prices, petrol in Saudi Arabia is about 30% cheaper than in the United Arab Emirates. Leaving Saudi Arabia was uneventful. It took me about 10 minutes for all formalities on the border. Just before the border crossing, there is a small shopping area with a restaurant serving delicious roast chicken on yellow rice. Between Saudi and Qatar checkpoints, there is a several kilometers of motorway. I stopped recording at the official area. See you on the other side.
Hello.
I'm now in Qatar.
Thank you.
Here is how the petrol station looks
Take the
like.
card. Yeah.
Unlike Europe,
Okay,
where
okay.
self-service is the norm, petrol stations in the Middle East still have filling station attendants who greet and assist you. Human conversation after hours of driving improves the mood of a weary traveler. Besides, it has additional benefits or generating local employment. I always ask if credit cards are accepted since I don't have local currency yet. It was not so in the past, but now all petrol stations accept credit cards. In any case, it's always better to ask. As you can see, refueling motorcycle is a tad more complicated than refueling car because I must disembark, remove my gloves, remove the petrol tank bag, and take the phone off the holder. In addition, during the border crossing, I remove my headscarf and earplugs to hear the conversation with officials. Now, I'm using this opportunity to put everything back. Remaining distance to my hotel in Doha is now about 100 kilometers. Here we are in Doha, the capital city of Qatar with population of about 1.1 million. Over 80% of Qatar's population lives in Doha and its suburbs. Some interesting facts about Doha. Just 15% of the population are Qatari, while the rest are expatriates. Salaries are tax-free. Qatar is the second flattest, behind Maldives, and the second safest country, behind Abu Dhabi, in the world. There are lots of facilities such as shopping malls, museums, art galleries, sport venues, Lusail International Circuit for Formula One, and MotoGP racing, and the longest continuous cycle track in the world. As you can see, Doha is a lovely place to live, but come with your wife because it is challenging to find a girlfriend. Men outnumber women by 3 to 1. In the early evening, I'm finally approaching the hotel which will be my home for the next 3 days. I booked a decent hotel but did not expect it to be so luxurious. A kind receptionist explained to me that there are 5 hotels called Millennium in Doha, and this is not mine. Mine is about 15 minutes further down the road towards Doha Airport. I was very tired after about 700 kilometers of riding through Arabian deserts. My hotel, Millennium Central on Doha Airport Road, was everything I needed. Affordable, clean, comfortable, and quiet. I even had an underground parking for my motorcycle and a decent breakfast. It is early afternoon on Saturday, and I am heading towards Lusail International Circuit. There are many events planned for today, including qualifications for all categories and a Tissot sprint race in the ultimate class. The race starts at 7 p.m. One of the peculiarities of both Formula One and MotoGP racing in Lusail is that both events are evening races. After short but mandatory security check, I'm at the Lusail venue. By the omnipresent noise of motorcycle engines, I conclude that free practice is already in progress. Before going to the racing circuit, I check various motorcycle vendor stands. All major brands were there with noticeable absence of Honda. The best stand belongs to Chinese manufacturer CF Moto. There are several food kiosks with common fast foods, plenty of bottled water free for all visitors, live music between racing events, and apparel stores. all visitors could get good quality free of charge earplugs. I took the opportunity to renew my stock because the plugs I can buy in the pharmacy are not as good as what they gave us in Lusail. This is the grandstand of the Lusail International Circuit. Seating is comfortable and, most importantly, facing eastward and therefore shaded from the harsh afternoon sun. Seating capacity is 7,500 spectators, which is not much for the racing track. However, during Formula One race, temporary seating is added along the track to increase the number of seats to over 50,000. The grandstand is positioned along the main straight and starting grid, just across the team garages. Race spectators can observe team preparations in the garages and on the grid, as well as exciting start of every race. So, what can be seen from the grandstand? Unfortunately, very little, because the motorcycles pass by at speeds between 250 to over 350 kilometers per hour. Visible area of the track is, by my estimation, only about 100 meters. Except for race start, most of the action with overtaking is happening in corners, elsewhere on the circuit. In fact, one can have better insight of the race by watching the official broadcast on a TV screen at home. But even at home, it's better to share the event with friends and other like-minded people, and there are thousands of them here. Anyway, there are plenty of TV screens around, and the sound is as good as it can be. Given a choice, I prefer to be on a circuit.
So here it is. I'm at the Lusail International Circuit for MotoGP 2024 season opening event, and I got my Hero Walk bracelet. So at 4 p.m. we will go to paddock and meet all the riders and see what's going on there. I think it's gonna be great. I'm gonna report on this as well.
The stars of MotoGP, come on, make some noise!
It's Sunday, the day of the main race. I arrived early to get my Hero Walk bracelet, which gives me an opportunity to walk into the paddock area and meet the riders, perhaps get an autograph. I had no prior experience with this and missed some opportunities, but learned few tricks which I would like to share with you now. First, there is no need to arrive too early. In total, 400 bracelets were given, and everybody arriving reasonably early got one, even those that didn't come with purpose of participating in the Hero Walk. Second, it pays to compete for the best spots at the fence. Otherwise, you will be in the second or the third row and have no access to the riders. Finally, if you are looking for an autograph, bring a t-shirt or a hat and, the most important, a marker pen. Riders are very friendly and patient, particularly the best ones like Bagnaia, Marquez and Martin. They are happy to sign the memorabilia and take a selfie with fans. It's 8 p.m. and the main race is about to start. However, just seconds before the start, an engine of Raul Fernandez's Aprilia stalled. So, he had to go back to the pit lane and start from there. The warm-up lap got repeated and the entire race shortened by 1 lap. The second start was without a hitch. The exciting MotoGP race is over. Pecco Bagnaia won on Ducati. Brad Binder on KTM was second. Jorge Martin on Ducati third. And Marc Marquez also on Ducati fourth. At the end of the event for the victory ceremony, the spectators are allowed to walk on the track. Such opportunity can't be missed, so I joined the crowd. The entrance to the track is on the south side of the grandstand. It's Monday morning and the time to ride back to Abu Dhabi. Border crossings were uneventful. Hardly anybody was at the checkpoints, so I passed within few minutes. The only curiosity is that I managed to find a petrol station in Saudi Arabia that didn't have any petrol in store. So I had to return about 20 kilometers to the previous station and refuel there. It was fun riding to Qatar and participating in the event. I want to repeat this experience somewhere in Europe or Asia. Till that time, I wish you a safe ride, always.